Hello everyone, it's Thomas again with Waterloo Ranch in Rice, Washington. Just wanted to do a quick video today about meat prices. There's a lot of talk right now about meat prices and how high they are at the grocery store. As a producer, none of these prices shock us. In fact, the truth is that these prices are still very low when you consider production costs of meat. There are a lot of influences affecting meat prices these days in the agricultural industry. But it's also good to remember that the US dollar lost about 25% of its value from 2020 to 2024 alone, largely due to government spending. So not only are there pressures in the agricultural industry, but there are also just inflationary pressures due to poor monetary and fiscal policy. Regardless, as a producer, grocery store prices don't seem high to us because the truth is that the meat is not that expensive. And so today I wanted to go through a little bit some of the costs of raising meat yourself, just so you could kind of put grocery store prices in context. So we'll talk about lamb first. If you could Google this and get a lot of numbers, and a lot of them are pretty high, we're just going to go on the low end. And let's just say that it costs $150 to get a lamb to slaughter age and slaughter weight. That includes feeding the mother during gestation, which is 5 months. And then, of course, feeding mother during nursing. And then, of course, feeding the lamb until it hits that slaughter age and slaughter weight. Sure, there's pasture in that time, some of those times, but a lot of this time they're going to be on hay. And that's really the only cost I'm kind of including in that low estimate of about $150. There's tons of other costs, your fencing, your covered buildings. If you did grain, then that would have to go into that calculation as well. Minerals, salt, if you do medications, that has to go in there as well. But let's just say bare bones, it's about $150 to get a lamb to slaughter age and slaughter weight. Now, on top of that, you're also going to have processing costs. And again, we'll go on the low end there. Let's just say you can find a processor to do it for $150. That's slaughter and butcher, cut and wrap. That's a pretty low price. We don't find that very often, especially maybe not with a butcher you like. But again, we're trying to go on the low end here. So now we're $300 into this lamb. Again, that doesn't include cost of your starter flock or your replacement costs for your ewe when she ages out. So again, $300, kind of a bare bones estimate to get a lamb processed and in front of the customer. This also wouldn't include any storage you have to do, any electricity to freeze it or anything like that. But even at just $300, and this is kind of a young processing age estimate. So let's say you take home 35 pounds of meat from that lamb. That puts you at about $8.57 a pound for a lamb that you had to raise and take to the butcher yourself and then bring home, and now you have to store it. Meanwhile, you can go to a big box store and find leg of lamb from Australia for about $6 a pound, which is a premium cut of a lamb up there with rack of lamb. It's a premium cut, and you can still find this cut for about $6 a pound at some of these big box stores. And that thing had to be frozen and then shipped all the way from Australia to the United States. So it makes you wonder how that's possible to be done at a profit. The answer is mostly scale, and then the benefit of huge global cold chain logistics. So back to the original point, lamb is not expensive at all at the moment in the grocery stores. So now let's move on to cows. So to get a cow, again, you can Google this and get some really high estimates here. But I'm just going to go with kind of middle of the road estimate. And this is just hay for the mother during gestation. That's 9 months. Then you got to feed the mother, of course, during nursing. And then the calf, once it's weaned, that calf is going to be on hay all winter long. And then once it becomes a yearling, let's just say you finish it 100% on pasture once it becomes a yearling. And then you take it up to, let's say, 19 months or 20 months or whatever. You're looking at probably just hay costs alone. I mean, there's a lot of hay in there. you're probably looking at retail value hay. You're probably looking at closer to $2,000 in hay for the mother and the calf. But let's just go low. Let's call it $1,750. Let's call it $1,750 for hay for the mother and then for the calf. No other inputs, no covered shelters, no no salt, no mineral, no grain, no nothing included in this cost, just hay and pasture. And then on top of that, we got our butcher cost, probably going to run us about $1,100, give or take, for slaughter and cut and wrap for this steer or heifer that you brought to slaughter age and slaughter weight. So that brings us to about $2,850. Now again, only hay is the input here, so this is going to be probably a light steer or a light heifer, and it's going to dress pretty light. So you're probably going to get, I'd say, maybe 400 pounds take home meat off this thing. That puts you $2,850 on 400 pounds. You're looking at $7.12 a pound, and you had to raise this thing yourself. Again, no other costs included. This doesn't include the cost you paid for the cow that you bred. This doesn't include the cost of your bull that you bred this cow with, or artificial insemination, whatever you did. None of those costs included. So bare bones, you're looking at $7.12 to get raise a calf and bring it home to your freezer. And yet we could go to any of these big box stores and we can easily still find, even though prices are quite a bit up, you can still pretty easily find at some of these big box stores, you can find ground beef and certain other cuts, sometimes for $7 a pound or even less. So again, it just makes you wonder how this is possible. The answer again is scale. And major cold chain logistics systems, and just the benefit of all that. I guess my message today is that your beef and your lamb at the grocery store are actually incredibly cheap, and no small farmer can compete with those prices profitably. So if you're gonna support small farms, you're gonna have to expect to pay leaps and bounds beyond those prices. The way those companies can make money is they're making pennies, literally pennies on the pound. And that's okay when you're selling tens of millions of pounds. But when you're selling, thousands of pounds, it doesn't work out. You can't make a living that way. But today, just wanted to help people hopefully put grocery store prices in context, and hopefully sort of change their perspective of what they expect and what they think beef and lamb should cost from a small farm. In any case, we hope you find a small farm that you can support. We hope you'll give us a try if you're in Washington State or Idaho. And if you're not, hopefully you'll find yourself a small ranch in the area that you can support. We definitely appreciate it. Thank you guys. Have a good one.